Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Shabbat class, 13th of April, 2024. What we'll be talking about in this hour is Iran and Israel. Okay, picking up where we left off this morning. Okay, introduction to you can go to our Prophets of Awakening and check out our videos. We have a whole bunch of videos, like 900 or so videos on our channel, and you can go there and these videos will give you connect dots for you and lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay. And for those that feel the need to support the channel, we got a cash up at the bottom. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay. For those that don't know, this is the non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah, right? Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. Okay. And like I said before, this morning, from Tuesday to Thursday, we have at 7 to 9 Eastern time. We have classes on our channel. Mondays, Tuesdays we have Israelites Advanced Bible Study, males and females. Wednesday we do a bunch of reading through the Old Testament, through the Tanakh, and a lot of the lost books that hold relevance. And then we come back on Thursday night for our Women's Advanced Bible Study. So if you feel a need to come in and any of those times, it's all fine and dandy. And then on YouTube on Friday nights from 7 to 9 Central Time, we are on Clubhouse. And the room is Non-Messianic Conversations. That's our men's advanced Bible study. Okay, then we come on the Shabbat with 2 classes, one in the morning Shabbat, and the evening Shabbat. The morning Shabbat is from 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, a.m. Eastern Time, and then Central Time, my bad. Then we have our evening Shabbat class from 6 to 7, close out the Shabbat. It's an hour. That's Central Time also. So with that being said, this is a non-Messianic channel. And by that I mean that we deal with the Torah and the Tanakh. Okay. Shalom and welcome to our channel, and welcome to our evening Shabbat class. Okay. We're gonna do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms. Then we'll do some current events, and then a little need to know information. We'll open it up for some Q&A for anybody have any questions or comments or something that they want to share. Okay, then we'll go into our topic, which is Iran and Israel. Okay, and the things that's going on with it. Okay, then we'll close out. So, like I said this morning, tie your shoes up because we're going all in. Okay, like I said, we play this right here to start it off. I don't know if anybody know about this or not, but okay, let me see where I'm at. Get it. Here we go.
Major escalation of the crisis in the Middle East. Iran has started a direct attack on Israel by launching dozens of drones to attack targets there. They're expected to reach Israel in the next couple of hours. Israel says its armed forces are on full alert with combat planes in the air. Iran has said it wants revenge for a suspected Israeli attack almost 2 weeks ago on its consulate in Damascus, when the US, President Joe Biden, has cut short his weekend to return to the White House for briefings on the crisis. Well, in a moment, we'll get the very latest from Washington and our correspondent there, Will Vernon. First, though, let's go straight to James Landale, who's live for us in Jerusalem tonight. James, this is an attack that Israel has been expecting for several days now.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Ever since that attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria, there's been growing speculation that Iran will have to respond in some way. There's been talk about different types of attack, but it now appears that attack is underway. Military spokesmen here in Israel say that drones have now been launched from Iran. They are directed towards Israel. There have been reports from Iraq that many drones being seen in the sky. The Israeli spokesman said that those drones will take some hours before they reach their target here. And he says that he's confident that Israel's air defenses will shoot them down. Earlier today, just before this attack was formally confirmed, the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave an address to the nation saying that his country would overcome all its enemies.
Israeli citizens, in recent years, and even more so in recent weeks, Israel has been preparing for the possibility of a direct attack from Iran. Our defense systems are deployed. We are prepared for any scenario, both in defense and attack. The state of Israel is strong, the IDF is strong, and the public is strong.
Now, as you heard there, the Israelis at the moment are just talking about drones, but the Iranian Revolutionary Guards have put out a statement saying that they are attacking with drones and missiles too. And in a statement, the supreme leader in Iran, Ali Khamenei, said, and I quote, "The malicious Zionist regime," that's his name for Israel, "will be punished for what he called an attack on Iranian soil." In other words, the attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria. Now, the question tonight is how effective this attack will be and what response Israel may make as a result of that. A spokesman said this evening, this is a severe and dangerous escalation. Ben.
All right, James, thank you very much indeed. That's James Landale live in Jerusalem. Let's go to Will Vernon in Washington. And Will, the United States, of course, is Israel's closest ally. President Joe Biden has promised ironclad support, in his words, for Israel with this attack tonight.
That's right, Ben. President Biden is back in the White House. He earlier cut short a weekend away in Delaware to come back to Washington and attend that urgent National Security Council meeting. And we've had a statement from the National Security Council saying Iran has begun an airborne attack against Israel. President Biden is being regularly updated on the situation by his national security team, who are in constant communication with Israeli officials. And it goes on to say that this attack is likely to unfold over a number of hours. And unnamed US officials have been speaking to US media, saying that they expect this drone attack to be synchronized with missiles that could be launched later on. But as you said, President Biden and other US officials have repeatedly said over the last few days that American support for Israeli security is ironclad, and we know that US forces in the region are on alert and are ready to assist.
Okay, so if you didn't hear that right, it just said that 2 hours or so ago, maybe three, Iran attacked Israel. So think about what was talked about this morning. So since we had this morning Shabbat class, let it sink in. Since we had this morning Shabbat class, Iran and attacked Israel. So just like that, the game changed. So it's just the beginning of chaos. So like I said, it's ain't no more room for nothing else. You know, now it's hammer time. Find out who's who. So, like I said, the man just said on the video, Iran and attacked Israel. Okay, let that sink in. You know, go do your homework. So, let me get this other video and then we'll go into this. So, yeah, so this guy, I'm gonna play this video because if you haven't been paying attention to it, the guy, they've been already making predictions about this, but let me show you what this guy said. Okay. Check it out.
How do you see the situation right now between Iran and Israel? I think it's headed for a train wreck.
This was 11 hours ago.
There's going to be.
No, we're down to hours.
Let me just read you the foreign minister of Iran just put out a statement. He said, in response to the phone calls of Baerbock of Germany, David Cameron of Britain, and Senator Wong, the Australian foreign minister, while exchanging views on some bilateral issues, I emphasized that when the Zionist regime violates international law and the Vienna Conventions, immunity, it violates diplomatic persons and places, and the Security Council is not able to issue a statement condemning the terrorist attacks on the Iranian embassy in Damascus. Legitimate defense with the aim of punishing the aggressor is a necessity. So what he's saying is that if the Security Council had come out and roundly condemned Israel, the unanimous vote, then Iran would have taken the high road and said, okay, they've been condemned, but they didn't do that. The Security Council didn't do it. And Iran's going to say, okay, so much for your rules-based international order. You only apply the rules when it suits you. These are flexible rules. These are not immutable rules. It's the rules that only some of us have to follow. You get to be a rule breaker, rule maker. So with that in mind, because it wasn't just the attack at the consulate. It has been a series of attacks going back, well, let's say 14 years, starting with assassinations of Israeli nuclear scientists. And really at no point over that last 14-year period has Iran gone out.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
Iranian nuclear scientists.
Right, Iranian nuclear scientists. And at no point did Iran turn around and lash out and launch terrorist attacks against the West. And the West has persisted in painting Iran as this massive sponsor of terrorism, but I believe that a very credible case can be the biggest sponsor of terrorism in the world has been the United States, at least over the last 20 years. So you got all the warning signs that something big's going to happen. Iran has recalled all the Revolutionary Guard command forces to their barracks. No leaves have been canceled. There are countries like France, Austria are canceling flights in and out of both Iran and in and out of Israel. So clearly there are reports in the press that the U.S. intelligence community is warning that there's going to be an attack within 48 hours. So this, all signs are pointing to something that's going to happen. Will it happen this weekend? I don't know.
Do you think that prior to this attack on the Iranian consulate, Washington knew about that?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Why they're letting Netanyahu making even more difficulties for them, more troubles for them?
Well, I don't necessarily see it as trouble. In fact, I think there's a faction around Biden that would like to go to war with Iran because they believe they can defeat Iran. Iran's got a lot of options here. So how would this, how could this possibly escalate? One, Iran has missiles capable of hitting you.
Okay, so you just getting here. This morning's class we was talking about Iran and Israel. Iran is the world was on edge because they didn't know what Iran was going to do according to what Israel done when they attacked the consulate in Syria, I think it is. Well, since this class this morning, Israel Iran attacked Israel just a couple hours ago. Right? So with that being said, what we're looking at right here is that these people was talking about 12 hours ago, last night. And notice what he's saying, that nobody knows what's going to happen with the situation because Iran is heated because of what happened, and none of the UN or the global government, nobody said nothing to Israel about what they done. So since that time, like I said, Iran attacked Israel. Okay? So let's listen to a little more of this.
Israeli military bases in Israel. So it could move to retaliate and hit some military infrastructure, military targets in Israel.
They already done it.
That would be a shocker, because Israel up to this point has lived under what they think is the protection of the Iron Dome and think that they can shoot everything down.
Attention, affiliate marketers. Stop promoting.
Okay.
If Iran launches and hits those targets and Israel's not able to respond, then that's likely to lead to an escalation where Israel will be trying to hit Iran, and then all of a sudden, it's gonna go up the escalate. We call it the escalatory ladder. At some point, Iran, if feeling threatened enough, could really put a knife at the throat of the world by cutting off all oil coming in and out of the Persian Gulf. Now, I don't think it would want to do that necessarily to China and India. And so it's going to be looking particularly to China and Russia to back it up here. So this is really, really dangerous and has the potential to spin out of control.
Right. So like I said this morning, you think it's a coincidence that Iran just in January got brought into the BRICS? Now all of a sudden this happened? It's hammer time. Like I said, it's all being orchestrated. And like time ran out. So, any comments so far? Anybody got a question? Comments? Anybody know about this?
No, sir. Shalom. No, sir. I haven't heard of it,
Yeah,
but I do have a question.
Okay.
Here it's going to affect the United States with the oil also, or do they have enough reserve to maintain, far as when something happened like this a couple of years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, that the gas prices went sky high. They didn't have any gas. Said they didn't have any gas that was going into the reserve for that. Is this oil for the gas that we're supposed to be receiving from overseas, or do United States have their reserves and just don't want to touch it? And that's why they're talking about the oil.
Well, you got to go back and look at Katrina. Did Katrina affect the oil prices?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or a hurricane. One hurricane in America, they have a hurricane, it affects the gas and oil prices. So this is like a hurricane is like a cakewalk compared to what's going on with this. Yeah. All hell gonna break loose. It's already been broke loose. But yeah, if they do what they say they're gonna do, and they cut off the oil, the gas that's coming over here from Iran, and cut off the oil that's coming out of that area right there, yeah. All hell gonna break loose, and once it affects oil, it's gonna affect the flow of the goods in America. Everything gonna get tightened up. That's the objective anyway. But yeah.
Shalom. So the West does not have any kind of reserve of oil in that sense.
Say that again.
The West does not have any kind of reserve, as far as at one point it was that I believe it was the beginning of Biden's term, where he said he was going to open up the one of their reserves because of the gas. They couldn't, those gas trucks and stuff were stopped, or something went on where I remember they ran out of gas here in North Carolina. and then they limit people on how much they could, how much gas they could purchase. We had that on there. You couldn't purchase so much. I think $10 or $15 worth of gas at one point. That's what
Right,
I'm
right.
saying.
They
Yeah.
don't, yeah, they don't, yeah, they have reserves, but they don't want to use it because
Yep.
if they use
Okay.
the reserves, if they deplete the reserves, that's an open wound for the invites the enemies to come right in. But they know they out of it. So their last resort is to try not to don't use that gas. They're always gonna send these red signals out whenever it come time for them to start using their reserves over here. So they're not going to unless they have to. And like I said before, this is the reason why you've seen these countries being brought into the BRICS. So they're using these countries to do their dirty work for them. They got Iran been coached to do exactly what they're doing. And China and Russia got their back. We know that because they part of BRICS now. And then
Right.
even with the oil, even Saudi Arabia is with BRICS. So this is a master plan. This right here, this Iran or Israel thing was to jump it off.
Yes,
But
sir.
okay, yeah. Okay, so when you say that you hear me saying the harlot. So let's go into that so to bring us up to part of what's really going on, because it's already been prophesied. So we know right here that this woman is a woman that Lord of hosts, Yahweh, and especially Lord of hosts, went to Egypt and got this woman, the nation of Israel, went and got her and brought her back to Canaan, espoused himself to her. So that's the original woman, just like Adam with Eve and Abraham with Sarah. So it's the Lord of hosts and Israel. Israel is his woman, the nation of Israel. So let's look at that. I mean, Isaiah 62, start at verse 1. For Zion, that's the woman. Zion, for Zion's sake, will I not hold my peace. For Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest until righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. So what salvation are you talking about? When they was in Egypt, they had to be saved. That's the salvation. The Egyptians were stronger than them. So the Lord of hosts had to go save them. That's the salvation he's talking about, not salvation in the New Testament. Two different salvation. So he had to go save them. So where we at now? We over here. We need to be saved. This is salvation he's talking about right here in 62. Verse 2, and the Gentiles. That's how we know he's talking about now. Like I said this morning, last two beasts are Gentile beasts. The Greeks and the Romans are Gentiles. And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and the kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called, here you go right here, by a new name, which is with the mouth of the Lord shall name. Thou shalt also be a crown, shall be a crown of glory in the hands of the Lord, and a royal demijohn in the hands of my God. Here you go. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hezbollah, right? And thy land Beulah, for the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. See that? So Zion, Hezbollah is the woman, and the Lord of hosts is the bride. For as a young man married a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall thy God, Lord of hosts, rejoice over thee. So they got a woman right there. So what happened? Why am I saying harlot? So we go to Obadiah right quick. And this is what so many people don't know. Okay? Go to Obadiah. And we see right in Obadiah that this woman that the Most High delights in so much was spurned. Let's look at it. Obadiah chapter 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus says the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise, and here we go. Arise ye, and let us go up this Esau against her. Here go the woman. The Lord of hosts woman. They're going up against the Lord of hosts wife, right? In battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathens, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, right? So you got all these so-called mores, mega pastors tell you that this in the stars is up in the sky when they went to the moon. But if you go to when Joseph had a dream, he said 11 stars bowed down to him. So these stars is the Israelites, 12 tribes of Israel. So we know now these Edomites stole the land of Israel, and they dwelling among the stars, where the stars is at. So anyway, if thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Grape gatherers came unto thee. Would they not have leaved some grapes? So Israel is a vineyard, the Lord's vineyard. So the men of Judah, the men of Israel is the grapes. So the grapes he talking about in verse 5 is Israelites. 6, how are the things of Esau? Okay, here go the corporate. Searched out. How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the borders of where? To Israel. It's already happened. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, that they eat thy bread. Those that eat thy bread have laid a womb under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? And the mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end, that everyone that of the mount of Esau may be cut off. Then 10, this the reason being, for the violence against thy brother Jacob. Yeah. For violence against thy brother Jacob. We see who it is. 12 tribes. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, this Antioch Epiphanes, foreigners entered into his gate. The Greeks, the Romans, entered into his gates, cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou was one of them. The Greeks upon Jerusalem. Even thou was one of them. Esau was one of those nations that came in with them. But thou should not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day they became a stranger. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. Thou should not have entered into the gates, making it plain for anybody that's listening. Thou should not have entered into thy gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Yes, thou should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither should thou have stood in the crosshairs to cut off those his that did escape. Neither should thou have delivered up those of them that did remain in the day of distress. So what is this? Because like I said, it's no more time for nothing else. It's time to rightly divide the scriptures and deal with scriptures. So is this in Revelations? Hell no, it ain't in Revelations.
No, sir.
So when did this happen? When the Greeks came.
Yes, sir.
They came in and stole the land of Israel. So from 143 BC to 70 AD, these people, Esau in the land. The whore been there. So the Most High told him, let's look at it. I don't want to paraphrase anything. So we go to Micah, the last book of our scriptures, because the New Testament has nothing to do with us. So we go to Malachi chapter 1. And chapter 1 says, the burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, Malachi. I have loved you, said the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein have thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Notice, that's what Obadiah talking about. Same thing. Was not Esau Jacob's brother? And I hated Esau. I laid his mountain and his heritage to waste for the dragons of the wilderness, right? Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus says the Lord of hosts, thou shalt build, but I will throw down. Thou shalt call them the borders of wickedness. Notice that. Obadiah said the same thing. They brought you to the borders. The borders are where? Israel. And here we go again. It says, Edom, wherefore, verse 4, Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desert places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall be called, then they shall call them the borders of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So like I said, what borders is Obadiah talking about? What borders is Malachi talking about? Verse 5, your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the borders of Israel. That's where they at. So back here in Malachi, they in the land of Israel, posing as the real woman, a whore. So in 70 AD, Vastapien and Titus and Vastapien ran them out. And like I said before, to Spain. All you got to do is track what happened in the world after that. Spain is the hit, is the carpet. They came from Spain and started the transatlantic slave trade. But anyway, so they was ran out in 70 AD. The Israelites had already left way back at the end of the Greek kingdom when Antiochus came, the last king of the Greek kingdom. So you say, what are you talking about? So like I said, we dealing with scripture, not what some nut bucket talking about. They don't know what the hell they talking about. So we'll go to Daniel. So we in Daniel, and we're gonna see if that's when they left. Daniel chapter 7. It's the okay, excuse me. Daniel chapter 8. This is Ram and He-Go. Okay, you know the story. It says that, let me read. Okay, I'm in chapter 8. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto him, even unto Daniel, after that which was appeared unto him at first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I was in Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, and I saw in a vision, and I was by the river Ulai. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, the second beast, which had 2 horns, and 2 horns were high, and one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, southward, so as no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hands. But he did according to his will and became great. And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west. This is the 3rd beast, Greece. So on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and he had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran into him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with clover against him. And he smote the ram and broke his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground, stomped upon him, and there was none that could deliver out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, this 3rd beast. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the winds of heaven. So I'm gonna break that down, but I'm gonna let Gabriel break it down, because you're gonna listen to Gabriel or me, you know. So we're gonna let Gabriel break it down. So 9, and out of all of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land, right? And it waxed great even to the hosts of heaven, and it cast down some of the hosts and the stars to the ground. So we know these stars are Israelites, and stomped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself to the prince of the host, right? And by him, the daily sacrifice, by this man right here, the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down, and the host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of truth to the ground, and it practiced and it prospered. Then I heard one saint saying to another saint, unto that certain saint, which spake, how long shall it be to the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgressions of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So here we go. Gabriel gonna break it down, and not me. And it came to pass when I, Daniel, had seen the vision, sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. It's Gabriel, in case you don't know. Well, verse 16 gonna tell you that. I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uliah, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So he came near where I was. So Gabriel came near where he stood. And when he came, I was afraid and I fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision, right? Not the end of the world. Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation, for the time appointed, the end shall be. Right? 19, we're going to read it again. Gabriel talking, not me. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation, for at the time appointed, the end shall be. The ram, which is I saw of having two horns, are the kings of the Medes, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. That's Alexander the Great. Now, that being broken, Alexander was broken. He was knocked off. Whereas four stood up for it. Four kingdoms stand up out of the nation. So the nation is the Greeks. It was divided into four parts by these four kings. But it's still going on. The Greek nation is still going. Third beast. In the latter times of the Greek kingdom, when the transgressions are come to a full, a king of fierce countenance, understanding dark sentences, shall stand up. That's Antiochus, at the end of the third beast. And his power, his power is Antiochus, shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully. He shall prosper, practice. He shall destroy the mighty and the holy people, the Israelites. That's what Gabriel told Daniel, not me. So he's going to destroy the holy people. Who was the holy people? Who was in the land at this time? Israelites, our forefathers. So Antiochus came and ran the Israelites out, not Titus and Vespasian. So from this point right here is a whore in the land of Israel. Those who say they are Jews and are not. From this point right here on. So that's been a long time. So all we're doing now is seeing prophecy come to pass. But the Most High said he's going to get rid of that whore and root them out. That's what we're looking at, coming to pass. But you can't see none of that because you're dealing with this fake New Testament and the fake God they gave you, Constantine gave. Antiochus Epiphanes' predecessor. Okay? So 25, and through his policies also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace, it should ring a bell if you go to Revelations, right? That's where they got it from. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. And he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So let's look at that. Like I said before, Joseph was in Egypt, right? Joseph ain't Yahweh. Joseph is a prince, right? He one of the sons, Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, each one of them princes. So who is this prince right here that Antiochus went up against? It ain't Yahweh. JC ain't came yet. So who is this prince? The Most High got 7 angels that he created, sons of God. 7 angels. And the first one he created was Michael, the prince, the great prince. Daniel chapter 12. Let's look at it. Daniel 12. Okay. Daniel 12:1. At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince. See that? We're standing for the children of our people. So this is the great prince. So in other words, the prince of prince. All the angels are prince, but Michael was the great prince. So this is who Antiochus stood up against. And if you go to first Maccabees, you'll find out he got killed. Michael destroyed him in front of his whole army. So here go to, like I said this morning, this is the Redeemer right here. And what we're looking at today, 2024, is what he spoke way back here. That he was going to deal with the harlot that was in the land of Israel. Obadiah told you that, and Malachi. And other prophets told you, but these are the notable ones. They told you that, okay? They told you that what he was going to do. And what we're doing is happening right in front of our face. It's a harlot in the land of Israel that's got to go. And that's what we're looking at now. Just like when we was cast out over here, we couldn't do nothing right because we had prophecies on us. Where's prophecy on Israel, on these Edomites, that's supposed to be Israelites? Prophecies on them. The prophecies are caught up with them. It ain't nothing they can do. Everything they do is wrong. Just like with us. Everything we did was wrong because there's prophecies on us. So you say, what prophecies? Let's look at this. Then we'll keep on going. So you say, what prophecies, right? Let's look at it. Ezekiel, chapter 35. No, like I said, don't believe nothing I say. So I'm in Ezekiel 35. This is the Lord of hosts talking. Moreover, the word of the Lord through Ezekiel. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. So if you do, you know your Bible, got Bible understanding, you know that Mount Seir, Esau, and Rome, same people. Verse 3, say unto Esau, say unto Rome, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most deaf. That's what we're looking at. Spoken all the way through the ages. 4, I will lay thy cities to waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. That takes you right back to Obadiah. In the time that of their iniquity had came to an end. They go to end I'm talking about. It's not the end of the world. It's the nation, Israel came to an end because they turned away from their God, from the Lord of hosts. And he brought the nation of Israel to an end by Antiochus Epiphanes in 143 BC. That's when Esau, that's the day they left was the day the harlot was born. Okay, 6, therefore as I live, said the Lord, I will prepare thee for blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with the slain men in thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain by the sword. And I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, because thou hast said, these 2 nations and these 2 countries shall be mine, and we will possess it wherein the Lord was there. So what 2 nations? The northern and the southern kingdom that the Most High split up because of Solomon. He divided into two nations. Antiochus came and possessed them. That was his objective. So from that day forward, it was no Israelites there. It was gone. In 143 BC. This is where the trick came in at. But they want you to think that these scriptures weren't tampered with. You've been lied to that the scriptures weren't tampered with, that the Lord of hosts didn't give them up. He gave up the nation of Israel, but he didn't give the scriptures up. Okay? But it's just the opposite. And so now, with these events that's transpiring in front of our face, the truth coming out. And that's what we're looking at. Okay? So, anybody have any comments about what's being said, what was said this morning, and what's being said now, and what has happened? Any comments?
Shalom.
Okay.
I just want to make a comment about all of the dots being connected and everything that's going on today that's been prophesied, and we can clearly see what's happening now. And if we don't know, we need to know what is going on. And I got kicked off, but got back in. I heard about this and started looking at it, and I know a lot of people that's in the military because I'm former military, and they are talking about it. They are moving. They are doing what they say they're doing over there. That's actually happening.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing is that they looking at, like I said, everything is centered around they first of all it's ass backwards, because they coming from what's being written and read in the Old New Testament and coming from Revelations back to Daniel, when actually it's the other way around. You're supposed to be coming from the Tanakh and bouncing everything off the Tanakh and going forward, not coming from Revelations and going back to the Tanakh. That's ass backwards. And so they're starting to find that out.
Yes, sir. It sounds like a way to slow it down, to try and take control, to go backwards to come forward.
Exactly. So that's what now. Like I said, it's over. Just doing what you want to do and believing what you want to believe. Like they say, that's what they said in Rome. It's like going into a Skittles store. You can go and buy you a bag of Skittles, and then you can pick out the ones you want, put them in your mouth. But it ain't like that. It's over with. It's one Redeemer. It's one Lord of hosts. It's one Prince of Prince.
Many times,
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, when everybody turn away and do what they want to do.
Exactly.
You're right. Yes, sir.
So the day's over. Right.
Shalom. I wanted to add something that it emphasized in the New Testament not to take anything away or add anything to it. So once we get into the Apocrypha, then they put up, it's not the true book. When you go into the Jasher book and all these Enoch, they're saying that you're adding things to this New King James Bible, which is not. So by placing that in there, it gets the people to think, okay, wait a minute. If it's not in here, it's not true. And
Exactly.
by, like you said, hoodwinking, throwing those, how can one thing happen way before the other thing happens? Like they took the book of Ezra and replaced, put it in a different spot where it don't line up.
Right.
But they were trying to get people who are going to be indoctrinated into their way of thinking to not rebel against the truth.
Right. Exactly. Right. And so we know that he already told us the truth is only gonna lay dormant for so long. Then the truth is gonna rise That's all we're looking at. So like I said, it's only one way that works. You tell a lie, you cover up the truth, and it's gonna lay dormant for a while. So a lie can't rise. It has to be you have to be told a lie already, and the truth is dormant. So they got you believing that in the last days you're gonna be it's gonna be a great falling away. No, the truth gonna rise in the last days. The lie gotta be told first. It's just like I said with the Antichrist. How is he gonna come at the end of the four beasts? The four beasts is the system that he set in place. So how can he come at the end of it? He has to come before it to set it up in order for it to be the beast system. The beast got to set it up. He can't be set up and then he come. It's like I said with Walmart. Sam Walton Walmart already existed. We got super Walmart now. Sam Walton gonna come now? No, he came at first and set Walmart up. And it went from Walmart to super Walmart. He can't come at the end of it and set it up. So when you look at scripture, Gabriel tells us that Antiochus came first. What did he do? He came and attacked our scriptures, burning the books up, burning the law up. He set the stage for what Constantine did. They had no respect for the Most High laws. So it wasn't no fear on them to not change his word around. They didn't give a damn. So he had to come first. He can't come now. It's crazy as hell for him to come now. The system already been in place. And that's what we off at. And now that the truth is rising, the Most High people rising, they looking crazy because of, like he had already told us that. When the truth started coming to the top, then you got to reconsider everything. And then you don't have to. And so you end up just like David friend, Uzi. Get ran through fifth reel. Don't be seen no more. Or you can deal with it. You got the spirit of the Most High on you. You can't sit and you can't be dormant no more. You can't hide behind the scenes like these Negroes doing up until this point, the boule. Hide behind whoever in power. You doing flipping tricks for them because they in power. All that's over. It's hammer time. Okay. Anybody got any comments? Like I said, the purpose of we have all kind of other classes during the week, but on Saturdays we have the morning Shabbat class, and then in the evenings we close out the Sabbath. We go an hour or so close out the Shabbat. There's a reason for that. Okay, so anybody have any comments or questions? We had an hour. Anything they want questions about what was talked about last night, this morning at the morning Shabbat class, or now? Anything you want to add?
Not at this time, sir.
No, sir.
Anybody else got anything? So, okay, so I said that we had the Shabbat this morning. We had a ball. We had a ball today. And I'm glad to have to keep these Shabbats with the people that's on the line. So with that being said, I want to say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 1 for our Sunday dialogue on Clubhouse.
Thank you. And shalom, shalom, everyone.
Thank you and shalom. And that's Jeremiah 16, sir, that we'll be looking into tomorrow.
Say again.
Jeremiah 16.
Right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Shalom, everyone.